y'all doing? Push that like button. Push that like button. Show me some love. Alrighty, this is what I just got through cooking. If anybody want to know what it is, I will tell you if you don't mind asking. Let that cheese melt. Have you ever heard of a shepherd's pie? This is garlic toast. And this is shepherd's pie. Mashed potatoes, carne asada, and cheese. This is a perfect combination for eating something outside the box. I wanted something, I was hungry and I wanted something different. And I didn't know what I wanted to make myself. How you doing? Come on in, push that like button. Now, I'm gonna top it off with a piece of sake to me cake. Gotta have me some dessert. Y'all like sake to me cake? I've been eating on this sake to me for the last couple of days now. I tried to warn people before I got started. I'm just gonna eat 2 small pieces of sake to me for dessert. Two small pieces of sake to me for some dessert. I got a shepherd pie and 3 pieces of garlic bread. Delicious. And I found a Swisher. I ain't gotta go to the store. I found a Swisher. Alright, so what I need to do now, cut these damn lights out. I am a juggling nigga. How I'm gonna pull this off is the question. I got my phone, I got my food, I got my keys, and I still gotta lock my door. So y'all stick with me. Don't go nowhere. Ooh, it's cold as hell. I gotta hurry up and get out this cold ass weather before my food get cold. Oh my God. Now I gotta pull off the amazing. Whew, feels so good in here. Instantaneously get back. Get back out the way. Good morning. In my way. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Ah, shit. Okay. Sake to me cake. Sake to me. Got this shepherd's pie right here. Shepherd to me. Oh my God, look at this shepherd pie. Look at this shepherd pie. Oh my God. I'm a survivor. I know how to make it. This really enough for 2 people, but I got me some garlic toast. I made this garlic toast with Mrs. Dash garlic and herb. So what I do is I put butter all over the bread first. Then I sprinkle that Mrs. Dash on it. Man, it's the best garlic bread you can ever have. Hands down. Okay. We finna get into what's going on in the world right now. Gonna talk about what it's gonna take for me to build my homeless shelter. Somebody brought it to my attention the other day that I'm thinking too big for my shelter. And I came to the conclusion that they was right. You know, I said I wanted to help, like, I know in the goal, my overall goal is to be able to help at least 300 people at a time. That's my goal, to build a foundation that help 300 people at a time change their life. But in reality, I can't think that big because I don't have a dime to help nobody. So I had to come back down to a number that was more realistic to me. In reality, what can I really do? Now, I can say I can help 10 people. That'll be reality, right? So in order for me to make it to 300 people, I gotta start out with 10. So my whole plan done changed. It ain't changed, it's still the same, but it changed. Instead of me building the homeless shelter, I'm just gonna buy some of these boxable houses and I'm gonna place them on trailer chassis. To each boxable house, I can house two people, 2 people to each box. From Grants, New Mexico. I never heard of that place before. This garlic bread tastes delicious. I ain't gonna lie. Food, good food to make you forget about everything you was thinking. You know what I realized? A lot of people's lives are fake as fuck. They act one way, but when you get real close to them, they a total different person. They project one thing, but they a total different person. Man, this garlic bread tastes so damn good. A lot of people, some people, not all, is allergic to garlic. So what they got going on in Brazil? Is it true what they say about the women in Brazil? Have y'all ever heard that thing that was going on? Talking about the women from Brazil, the ones that sell that hair, that they realized or they found out that the hair that they were selling from Brazil wasn't coming from the women on top of their head. It was coming from up under there and up under here. Like the women in Brazil can grow long underarm hair. And they can grow long, pubic hairs, longer than the hair on their head. Is that true? I don't know if it's true or not. I just heard it. I read this thing on the internet. And Brazilian people have been selling pubic hairs to Americans all these years, telling these women, you gotta get some Brazilian. And they know they run around with the Brazilian ladies' pubic hairs on their head. That's messed up. You heard that? You heard about that, King? Yeah, man. Your woman talking about she got yeah. Yeah, them Brazilian weaves, man, them ain't nothing but the Brazilian ladies' pubic hairs. They can't grow no hair on the top of their head. Them bitches bald headed. But they say on the bottom, especially up under there, the pubic hair, they say they grow all the way down to the ground. That's where they get them 28, 29 inches from. For real. It's all natural. What you think? What kind of hair you think LeBron got on the top of his head? All of a sudden, you thought that nigga hairline just came back, huh? Man, LeBron got that Bosley where they go and get the hair from the unwanted parts of your body and they surgically implant them. That's why LeBron can't get no real barber. Like me, I wouldn't cut LeBron hair. Nigga, them nut hairs on the top of that nigga head. I'm not touching that shit. Like, for real. Y'all didn't know that LeBron got nut hairs on the top of his head. That is nut hairs. You're right, natural is the best way. But it is natural, though. It just didn't come from the natural top of their head. It came naturally off the body somewhere. It's natural. It's natural. They ain't lying to you about that. Natural Belizean. Uh, Brazilian hair. You got them Brazilian curls, Every time I hear them girls talk, what kind of hair is that? That's that Brazilian? Oh, yeah. Natural nut hairs. I don't think they let the men participate. That's a woman thing over there. And women, they make a lot of money in the Brazilian market with that Brazilian hair. Just don't nobody know where it came from. You don't know if it came from the top of the head. You don't know if it came from the bottom. But it's Brazilian. Did you know that the hair on LeBron, top of LeBron's hair, isn't real? Did you go to sleep last night? Hell no, I hit the strip, nigga. I ain't go to sleep at all. I ain't go to sleep till I got on the bus and got the fuck on. The bus left at 5:30. I got on the bus. I just got on the bus beside a crazy motherfucker. The nigga was crazy. I know he was crazy. And the nigga was fucking broke as fuck because the nigga, he didn't even have no goddamn headphone. And I had to go all the way up to the goddamn front of the bus driver and snitch on this nigga. And tell him, man, this dude back here with all this goddamn noise back here, man. Listen to this old fucked up ass crazy music. And people back here trying to sleep. And the bus driver had to pull over and go back there and tell him, hey, man, if you ain't got no listening devices like headphones, then you got to turn the phone off. And I finally got me a little rest. Goddamn shame. I heard that nigga mumbling. Motherfucker gonna go up there and tell the bus driver, motherfucker, shut the fuck up. Doing that crazy ass shit. You sitting here, you ought to put your ass off the bus. You sitting here getting drunk and shit. Motherfucker got two he had them damn Pollo Loco drink shits. Loco Locos or some shit like that. Or Poco Locos. It's a fucked up little cheap ass beer these little wine heads and damn alcoholics be drinking on. They're about $2 a can. Yeah, it's called a Poco Locos or something like that. Every time I see a nigga drinking that shit, it remind me of my young dumb days when I used to drink Old English 800. Like, nigga, you know what you putting in your body right now? Did you get sleep? Oh, I ain't getting no sleep. Hey, hey, Clara, I want to let you know something. God loves you. You know who God is, right? Jesus, Father. He want me to let you know that God loves you. You know, when you think about how the Christians really believe that God is like Martin Luther King Jr. daddy. I'm gonna let that sink and let y'all think about that. They really think that God is like Martin Luther King Jr.'s daddy. You know, Martin Luther King Jr. daddy did something one day that fucked up his whole congregation. First of all, Martin ain't Martin Luther King's real name. His real name is Michael. His real name is Michael, but Michael ain't nowhere in Martin Luther King. I don't know how, but anyway, he was born biologically named Michael. Michael Jr., like his daddy, right? But one day, his daddy came out his chambers, his study chambers. He was infatuated with the same person who influenced Marcus Garvey. And it was an old, like, y'all gotta look this up for yourself. His name was Martin Luther King, right? So, Martin Luther King Sr. came out of his office one day and announced to his whole church, from this day forward, my name will not be Pastor Mike, Shepherd Michael. The Lord gave me a revelation that my name and my son's name will be Martin Luther King. I'm senior, and this nigga right here will be junior. And that's how Martin Luther King got his name. His daddy changed his name in the middle of his life. And his life, I'm talking about his daddy life, he just automatically just changed his name after he started a church and had a whole congregation calling him Pastor Michael. Y'all don't know nothing about that shit, huh? Yeah. So, people think that God is like Martin Luther King's father, where after Martin Luther King Sr. passed away, Martin Luther King took over. You know, that's how good that damn garlic toast is. I just dropped a piece. Trying to compose what I'm saying so people can relate to what I'm talking about right now. Damn, that garlic bread was good. You know it was good. When you drop that last piece, I'm glad I got a whole nother one. All right. So when Martin Luther King's daddy died, Martin was able to take over the whole church. And in order to get to the other side, you had to go through Martin Luther King. So the reason why I say a lot of people think God is like Martin Luther King's father, they believe once God had a son and named him Jesus, the only way you can talk about God, or the only way you can get close to God, is to talk through Jesus first. God is not like Martin Luther King daddy. God tell us all, I am a jealous God, don't put nobody before me. And if anybody put Jesus before God, you are putting somebody before God. Now, I'm like this. I'm a child of God. My father is named God. Jesus is my brother too. Oh my God. You don't want to misbalance this. You want to eat the garlic bread with the shepherd pie at the same time. I don't know which one. I don't know which one tastes better. And a lot of people insist that the only way you can make it to heaven is to go through Jesus. Now think about it. How many people would tell you, in order to talk to me, you got to go through my children? The patriarch of the family, the businessman, the man that make it all happen. You got $1 billion idea you want to take to God. You want to take it straight to the man. But in order for you to get it to the man, you got to talk to one of his children. Just think about it. I did misbalance it. That garlic bread tasted good. Wrong. He sacrificed his son. Think about it. Do that make sense? Why would God have to sacrifice anything? I mean, sometimes y'all don't even question the stupid ass statements y'all be saying. Man made sacrifice to God, but God ain't have to make a sacrifice to us. Maybe that makes sense to you. Man may make a sacrifice to God, but God don't have to sacrifice a goddamn thing to us. Make it make sense, my nigga. God's point is, we will reject God even if he sent his legion, as you are doing now. How can I reject God when I love God with all my heart? when I know for a fact that God is my Father? How can I reject him when I'm trying to tell people about him? And I'm trying to tell them about the way that man is lying to other men to get close to him. Come on, man. It don't take all that. If you got to go through that route, the way they telling you to go, it's going to be hard as hell, ain't it? Because first you got to believe in something that you ain't never seen before. The people that wrote about it, they ain't never seen it. But they told you it exists. And you still ain't never seen it throughout your whole life. But you believe it still exists. I understand. You crazy as hell, just like the rest of them. Don't know no better, and I feel sorry for y'all. What if I told you in Bible college, they tell y'all, well, they tell us, that none of these stories in the Bible are real? It's your job to convince the people that they are. As long as you got them on their heels, as long as you got them believing, at that same time, in that token, with that mindset you have them in, tell them to, if you believe so much, sow a seed in the word. The Lord wants your money. If I wanted to start lying to these niggas tomorrow and open up a church, I have one of the biggest congregation churches in America right now. And that's if I wanted to. But you know, one preacher is more dangerous than 10,000 soldiers with AR-15. One preacher. Ain't that about a bitch? But if I tell you the truth, you don't want to hear it. My grandfather was a preacher. And y'all might not want to hear the truth, but he used to sit me up on his lap, and be like, help me count this money all these damn fools gave me. And that was his exact word. Every Sunday, we counting the damn offering money. And his exact word, man, you help me count this money you damn fools gave me. Okay. Goddamn fools. That's the way my grandfather used to describe them. You came from evil. What is evil? The opposite of your thoughts that you think is good. When you thinking bad, tell me what the fuck is evil. What's your definition of evil? I don't even think our definitions of evil are the same. I believe that you evil. I believe that you've been evilly possessed to believe that the evil people that created all this bullshit to make you believe that it's good. It's true. That's what I believe. But you can believe what the fuck you want to believe, just like I can believe what the fuck I want to believe, right? And I also believe that most of the people that say they know God, they love God, really don't. If you love God, you'll be just like me right now. Look out that glass right there. What's out there? What you see? It's foggy, but what do you see? You don't even see what I see. We ain't gonna talk about it. You and I are not the same type of people. You say you love God, but really don't. You're legit an evil man. Hope you find God before. I hope I can find you so I can choke the shit out your ass. And we'll show. Let's see who is more evil. I wish I can find you so I can just slap and beat the brakes off your ass. Have you ever had the brakes beat off your ass? Like, but you pre-assuming judging me for somebody that I'm not. So I might as well just show you what type of evil person I am, right? I like the people like you to say try me, because I will. I will try you faster than anybody else in the world, nigga. Instant reactions. Just take off on your ass, punch your ass right in the motherfucking mouth. Follow up. Bam, then I hit you again. Now, bam, follow up, nigga. Bam, but you realize you like, I'm sorry, man, I'm not no street nigga. I know you not, nigga. Fuck you mean? Beat the brakes off your motherfucking ass, nigga. With no hesitation. Without thinking twice about it. A natural reaction. I will beat the brakes off your ass, for real. Keep talking, G-Money. I ain't talking. I'm telling you, in future reference, what I will do to you before I do it. I can't tell you exactly what type of weapon I'm going to use because, you know, never know what type of elements are going to be around me at the time and the opportunity that I get to do it. But when I do it, just know. Damn, this socket to me cake good as a motherfucker. Push that like button. You right. Snoop Dogg is a studio gangster. I'm a real street gangster. Big difference. Big difference. You know what? You know one of my biggest fears? That I'm going to get locked up for some shit I did 30, 40 years ago. For real. And not just me. I got a lot of homies, you know. We all in the same bucket. I'm not the only one. Have you ever killed somebody and pissed on them? No, I'm just asking a question because I done killed some niggas and pissed on them, and I'm afraid that me pissing on their ass, DNA gonna come back to haunt my ass, nigga. It's gonna come back and get me, man. I'm gonna go to jail. Why did I piss on that nigga? I've been questioning my shit like, why did I piss on that nigga? But you never know. They might not make it to that cold case file before I die. You never know. How you doing? I know, I did. Stop talking, boy. Hey, man, listen here, man. I come from that era, man. I ain't gonna lie, I done killed a lot of people, bro. That's why I changed my life. That's why I live for God. That's why I ask every day, I ask God to forgive me. And I pray that the Lord is gonna let me into heaven. But people like you just keep reminding me of who the fuck I am. And they be like, you the demon, you the devil, you demon, you evil. Okay. I might be if a motherfucker make me. I might be if a motherfucker make me. Like, but most of the time, remember, you gotta always remember that Satan was heaven's most angelical angel. Evil didn't come from an evil place. Evil came from a godly place. So if we want to talk about evil, if we want to integrate evil with good, remember, there cannot be good without evil. You said, Clara, you hacked the account. Oh, she ain't hacked shit. You know what Clara did? Clara is a good friend of mine. You in the internet gangster, Clara. They all are. They are. You know, I'm blowing up on the internet, bro. I went to Walmart today. And I was just, I don't know what I went in Walmart and I realized I just walked down every aisle in that motherfucker and walked out and didn't buy shit. And I still ask myself when I got back, what did I go to Walmart for? Am I the only one? What's up? Well, that right there was one of the best meals I ever had. I got 2 little pieces of garlic bread left that I dropped on the floor. So I'm gonna throw that away. Pop that in there. That's delicious, Mike. Yeah. Fake Google account. Man, there's a lot of fake ass people on the internet, bro. We don't give a fuck about no. Hey, they fillers. We need seat fillers. All right, man. Let me talk about some real shit I'm about to work on. Y'all want to hear some real shit? All right, we finna shoot a movie. We finna shoot my movie. I don't know if y'all been listening or y'all following me, right? Is this like a bunch of people, the group of people that's been following me for a long time? Y'all remember my movie I was talking about? My movie. It was a movie that I was talking about that I had created, and it's gonna have a whole bunch of comedians in it. We gonna shoot this movie. I was discussing it with another comedian the other day. And he a little bit, in production, and in the world of comedy, he's a lot bigger than I am. But when I told him about my movie, he was really interested. He was really interested. And he was like, man, I think that'd be a great idea, Snag. And that's what we need right now. We need some good comedy in the industry right now that's just gonna make people, look at it differently. You said, I ain't a gangster, and I listened Paramore and watched. We don't care you watch porn. You need to stay off, man, you need to stay off of Pornhub, dog. You know the only way you can watch Pornhub, you have to actually type in Pornhub to the precise, then push search. You know how like you can be on Google and you trying to type up something and you start to see all these different pop-ups, suggestion. Some of them, one of them might be exactly what you trying to type up, but most of the time it's gonna be comparisons, right? If you start typing in Pornhub, I don't give a fuck all the way to the H to the U to the B. Pornhub would not pop up in the goddamn suggestion list. And I know why, because that's Google blocking it all out. That's just like when you try to look up Mr. Snaggerpuss. You cannot look up Mr. Snaggerpuss unless you type it all the way in correctly. Boom. So that's shadow banning. Yeah, that's shadow banning. You don't know nothing about that type of shit. Net neutralizing and shadow banning. When you got to type in the whole goddamn thing and you got to know how to spell it correctly or it'll never show up. Yep. And then, you know, because I don't want to accidentally see it again when I don't need it, I delete it off my phone. Like, I just turn it off. Like, make sure I close the app, close that whole little page I was looking at it on. So if I have to find it again, when I really get that urge again, I have to go through the whole process. Type in Pornhub. Like, you got to type it all the way in. Am I the only one? Don't nobody know what Pornhub is. Oh, okay. Only grown for white porn. I think it should be illegal. I don't think Pornhub should be that accessible, that easy. Like, and it ain't. I mean, the way they got it set up, it ain't that accessible, that easy. You got to really know how to spell it out. Some people can't even spell, so you know, so they can't even, you know, properly get it. Like, they be looking for it, but like, how do you spell Pornhub? You know what I'm talking about? Oh man. Motherfuckers talking about they love each other, ain't never met each other a day before in their goddamn life. I love you too. I love you. Motherfuckers be saying they love you, be the first motherfucker to shoot your ass when they start feeling a special way about you. Just fuck that nigga. Pow, pow, pow. How y'all doing? Push that like button. Ain't nobody liking me right now. Oh, that socket to me cake. It is 56 degrees right now. 56 inside of my truck. Even though it feels warmer, it's really 56 degrees, 57 now. And this is what I gotta do, man. I gotta make the best of life the best way I know how. I need to go home, take me a shower, put on some fresh clothes. That shit feel good. Oh, that feel good. Why did I eat all that shit? I was all right before I ate all that. I ate and nigga itis kicked in. Yep. You son go to bed. You got middle school tomorrow. Yep. Thank y'all for pushing the like button. It'd be so amazing, man, how people can connect with each other on the internet. Oh, that's cool.
Welcome to Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. President Trump's facing accusations of supporting ethnic cleansing in Gaza after saying he wants to, quote, clean out the whole thing. Trump made the remark while speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One Saturday.
I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. I mean, you're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing. It's, it's over the centuries that's many, many conflicts at site. And I don't know, it's something has to happen, but it's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished.
Egypt and Jordan have rejected Trump's call. This is Jordan's foreign minister, Ayman Safadi.
Our stance that the two-state solution is the path to achieving peace is firm and unwavering. Our rejection of displacement is also firm and unwavering. This is not only the steadfast and unwavering position of the kingdom, but it is also a necessity for achieving the security, stability, and peace that we all desire.
Hassan Jabarin of the Palestinian human rights group Adala likened Trump's proposal to the, quote, ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people, unquote. Israel's far-right finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, called Trump's proposal to clear Gaza of Palestinians a great idea. Smotrich has backed building new illegal Israeli settlements in Gaza. We'll have more on this story after headlines. Tens of thousands of displaced Palestinians are returning to North Gaza today, many for the first time in over a year, as the Israel-Hamas ceasefire enters its second week. But most Palestinians will be returning to find their homes reduced to rubble. The UN estimates 92% of homes in Gaza have been destroyed or damaged during Israel's 15-month bombardment. Hala Shala is a 19-year-old Palestinian heading back to Gaza City.
We experienced tremendous hardship from the moment we left Gaza City. We were displaced from Gaza City's Sujaiya neighborhood. After leaving, we spent 2 nights, one night in Al Dien. Then we moved to Khan Yunis and stayed at Al-Aqsa University. We've been displaced multiple times. When we heard the war had stopped and people could return to Gaza City, we desperately wanted to go back to Gaza City because we missed our home and everyone in Gaza City. Our house was destroyed, but we're fine with living among the rubble.
On Saturday, Hamas released 4 female Israeli soldiers who've been held hostage since October 7, 2023. Israel then released 200 imprisoned Palestinians, including 70 who are being forced into exile abroad. Hamas has also agreed to release 3 more Israeli hostages by Thursday, including a female civilian named Arbel Yahud. Meanwhile, Israel is being accused of preventing 11 doctors and nurses from the United States from leaving northern Gaza. In the occupied West Bank, Israeli forces shot dead a 2-year-old Palestinian girl named Leila Mohammed Ayman al-Khatib on Saturday. The girl was eating dinner with her family in their living room when Israeli snipers fired 4 shots into their home near Jenin. One of the bullets hit Leila in the back of the head. Israeli forces have killed at least 16 people in or near Jenin over the past week. In Lebanon, Israeli forces opened fire on people trying to return to their homes in the south of Lebanon. Israeli forces killed at least 24 people and wounded more than 134 people. Israel had been scheduled to withdraw troops from southern Lebanon by Sunday, but the White House has announced a deal has been reached to delay the withdrawal until February 18th. In news from Washington, D.C., Secretary of State Marco Rubio has frozen almost all foreign aid coming from the State Department and USAID. But Rubio's memo exempts military funding to 2 countries, Israel and Egypt. Rubio's memo came as the Trump administration announced the U.S. would resume sending 2,000-pound bombs to Israel, lifting a hold put in place by the Biden administration. The U.S. Senate has confirmed Pete Hegseth as Defense Secretary. Vice President J.D. Vance cast a rare tie-breaking vote to confirm Hegseth, the former Fox News host and combat veteran who faced accusations of rape, spousal abuse, excessive drinking on the job, and financial mismanagement. 3 Republican senators joined Democrats in opposing him. Former Senate leader Mitch McConnell, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins. Ahead of the vote, Democratic Senator Tim Kaine said there were many more qualified people for the post.
There are hundreds of them without the personal baggage of sexual assault claims that have been settled, of allegations of spousal abuse that have been testified to, of allegations of drunkenness on the job and fiscal mismanagement that are the subject of a very extensive report written by non-anonymous co-workers.
We'll look at Pete Hegseth's embrace of extreme Christian nationalism later in the broadcast. The Senate has also confirmed South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem to head the Department of Homeland Security. The final vote, 59-34, with 7 Democrats supporting her. John Fetterman, Maggie Hassan, Tim Kaine, Andy Kim, Gary Peters, Jeanne Shaheen, and Elissa Slotkin. On Friday night, President Trump fired a dozen independent inspectors general across federal agencies. The move appears to violate a federal law that requires the president to give Congress 30 days notice before firing an inspector general confirmed by the Senate. A group of House Democrats wrote a letter to Trump demanding he reverse the purge, saying it's, quote, antithetical to good government and undermines the proper stewardship of taxpayer dollars, unquote. The White House has announced the government of Colombia has agreed to begin accepting flights of deported immigrants after a dramatic standoff between the 2 countries. On Sunday, the Colombian president, Gustavo Petro, turned back 2 U.S. military planes carrying deported people, saying immigrants should be treated with dignity. President Trump then imposed new tariffs and sanctions on Colombia. Petro responded with retaliatory tariffs on U.S. imports, but within hours, the White House announced a deal had been reached. The standoff with Colombia comes as the Trump administration announced nearly 1,000 people were arrested Sunday as federal agencies carried out immigration raids in Chicago and other cities. In Chicago, agents with ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, were assisted by the FBI, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the U.S. Marshal Service. The Washington Post reports the Trump administration wants every ICE field office to make at least 75 immigration arrests per day as part of a new quota system. Local communities are pushing back. On Friday, school officials in Chicago refused to allow agents into an elementary school. School officials at first thought the agents were from ICE, but they were actually from the U.S. Secret Service. The Justice Department has announced it'll limit enforcement of a 1994 law known as the FACE Act that protects abortion clinics and people seeking abortion care. The Trump administration says it will only prosecute individuals who unlawfully block access to abortion clinics and reproductive health centers in extraordinary circumstances, such as killing someone or causing serious bodily or property harm. Trump also pardoned 23 people convicted under the law. Also on Friday, Trump reinstated and expanded the so-called Mexico City policy, also referred to as the global gag rule, which cuts off U.S. aid to any overseas group that provides abortion services, information, or advocacy. South Korean prosecutors have charged impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol with insurrection after his failed attempt to impose martial law in December, which plunged South Korea into political turmoil. The insurrection charge could lead to a sentence of life imprisonment for Yoon or even the death penalty, though South Korea has not carried out an execution in decades. In the Eastern Democratic Republic of the Congo, M23 rebels say they've seized Goma, the capital of North Kivu province. UN chief Antonio Guterres called on Rwandan forces to immediately withdraw from the DRC and end its support for M23 fighters, while the Congolese government called Goma's capture a declaration of war by Rwanda. Fighting across the Congo-Rwanda border has also been reported. Some 400,000 people have been forced to flee their homes in eastern Congo since the start of the year, as M23 fighters advance towards Goma, compounding an already disastrous humanitarian situation. Over the weekend, the UN moved to evacuate its staff in the area after 13 UN peacekeeper soldiers were killed fighting the M23. Following an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council Sunday, Congolese Foreign Minister Therese Kaikwamba Wagner called the unfolding situation in her country one of the, quote, darkest periods in recent history, and called for the UN Security Council to sanction Rwanda and impose an embargo on the exploitation of natural resources.
Since January 6, 2025, these legal forces have intensified their attacks, taking over strategic localities such as Katale, Masisi, displacing millions of civilians and destroying vital infrastructure and committing massive human rights violations. These acts are not only attacks against the people of the Congo, but also against the fundamental principles that govern peaceful coexistence between the nations.
In Sudan, an estimated 70 people were killed by a drone strike on a hospital in North Darfur's besieged city of El Fasher. The World Health Organization says the Saudi Teaching Maternal Hospital, the last functioning hospital in the area, was packed with patients receiving care when the attack occurred. Sudan's government blamed the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF, for the massacre. Prior to the assault, RSF had given a 48-hour ultimatum to the Sudanese armed forces to leave El Fasher, warning of escalating attacks. The hospital attack also came a day after 2 U.S. lawmakers said the United Arab Emirates is continuing to provide arms to the RSF, which the Biden administration recently accused of committing genocide in Sudan. Over 14 million people have been displaced by the war, which started in April 2023. 3 million of those have become refugees, most of them crossing the border to South Sudan and Chad. In news from Germany, the world's richest man, Elon Musk, took a break from advising Donald Trump Saturday to give a surprise virtual address to the far-right AfD party, that's Alternative for Germany. Musk's appearance came just days after he sparked controversy for twice giving a Nazi salute at a Trump inaugural event. Among other things, Musk told attendees it's time to move on from past guilt, an apparent reference to Nazism and the Holocaust.
Well, first of all, I wanted to really say that I'm very excited for the AfD. It's good to be proud of German culture, German values, and not to lose that in some sort of multiculturalism that dilutes everything.
The U.S. Air Force says it will continue using an educational video about the Tuskegee Airmen, the first Black Air Force members, and another video about the first women Air Force members, after the videos were briefly pulled from the Air Force curriculum, triggering widespread backlash. The reversal comes after the videos were put under review as part of the Trump administration's order to halt all efforts to promote DEI, that's diversity, equity, and inclusion. And Switzerland is facing widespread criticism for arresting and detaining the Palestinian-American journalist Ali Abu Nima of the online publication Electronic Intifada. The UN Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Opinion and Expression, Irene Khan, called his arrest shocking news. The UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights in the Occupied Territories, Francesca Albanese, wrote, quote, "The climate surrounding freedom of speech in Europe is becoming increasingly toxic, and we should all be concerned," she said. Ali Abu Nima was arrested ahead of a speaking event in Zurich. And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman with Juan Gonzalez.
How to Hide an Empire, a history of the greater United States.